Hello friends, welcome back into the Golden Tee Lounge. Kevin Lindsay here. I know it's been a little while, but it is getting crazy with the holidays. It is December 21st, which means Christmas is 4 days away on Sunday. I'm not sure how that is actually the case, but before we get to the Christmas holiday and then eventually the New Year's, I want to take a look at this week's classic course of the week, Alpine Run from Golden Tee Live 2011. It feels like yesterday, literally, but is somehow over 10 years ago. Don't want to talk about the fact that with it being December 21st, we are only 10 days away from New Year's Eve, which means we are 11 days away from 2023, and I still have yet to figure out how this year has gone by so fast. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. But this course is from what I consider the challenging years of Golden Tee, of Jim Zielinski course design. Definitely has your traditional drivable par 4s like you just saw there on hole 2, but there's also opportunity to get stuck in the snow, to hit some trees, hit some really bad shots. I will probably show you a little bit of all that, including, hey, it took me to hole 2 to have a bad shot on a simple par 3. Some of these par 4s that are drivable are going to be very tough to get to, but also very tough to maintain that eagle here. Hole 4, perfect example of that. Doesn't look like a tough hole, but when you hit the flyby, you see that there's a massive elevation change, and guess what? If you don't make it on the green and you hit that rock wall on the side, you, my friend, will be swimming with the fishes, which is why I'm going to suggest do not go for the pin here. Unless you ultra shot it, you are probably going to either hit that rock, get wet, or blow past the green and end up in the sand. So we are going to be smart. It's not something I do very often when it comes to playing Golden Tee, but I'm going to aim for the larger part of the green here. I'm high teeing my 3-wood. I'm not crushing it. You see, I only hit 128, but I wanted to make sure I gave it a solid hit. Even at 128, still went past the fringe there and on to the rough. You got to be careful with your chip. If you miss your chip, be sure to do what I did right there and miss it softly, because it's not worth it, especially if you're chipping for eagle, to go in the water and then be chipping for par. Get to hole 5 here. This is a difficult, not terribly tough par 5, but it took a long time for me to stop thinking with the fact that I just want to smash a trackball and get a long drive. Really can't do that here. If you hit a C3, or excuse me, an A1 here, you're going to end up in the rough, and you've got a pile of trees. Here, we'll just do a quick entire hole flyby. Even if you get out there, you're still going to have to cut around these trees. What you could do is hit a high tee 3-wood or 10.5 degree driver here. If you're really feeling crazy, you can try, although probably not successfully, to hit an A1 here. Or you can land on this little patch, give a nice little high 5-wood. Now, you're not going to have a direct line of sight to the green, but it is going to be a bit easier to try to handle your shot here versus going around the trees on the left from the fairway. And I haven't said it yet today, so I will make sure I say it. Classic Course of the Week, available every week on any Golden Tee Live and Golden Tee PGA Tour game that is updated to 2022. Go to Prize Play, where Prize Play is available, and then you will see the rotation of Golden Tee 2022 courses, and then Classic Course of the Week with that blue banner up top. Changes every Sunday night going into Monday. Now, hole 6, this is a par 4. Nowadays, I feel like this would be a par 5, but back then, let's try this one more time. Back then, Jim Z was not as giving with his scoring, and so all you want to do is hit a soft high tee driver. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of release on this. The other thing that I've noticed about this course is that the winds always seem to be blowing pretty heavy. Now, regardless of how bad your putting may be, as long as your putt gets to the green in one, that's all that matters. And then you get to here, hole 7, another drivable par 4. This is actually one of the better looks on this really tough hole. Don't feel bad if you don't get it on the green, because it's not that easy. I mean, the fact that I almost watered it is kind of hilarious. And of course, wow, I thought that was going to move right. The way I look at this hole is I'm happy with a birdie there. I really am. And then you get to hole 8. If you're a fan of closest to the pin from back in the day, you've seen this hole a lot. It doesn't look that difficult, but you just want to make sure that you avoid that rock wall, because you'll definitely smell what the rock is cooking if you hit it. You're most likely going to end up straight in the water. But for that setup, at least for the course that the contest that I'm in, not too difficult there. Speaking of difficult, though, you get to hole 9. It is a 517-yard par 5. Usually means nothing. The problem is all the fairway is too far from the green. So you can either smash a driver into the trees here, hope for the best. You could also try to tee it in the snow and also hope for a clear shot to the green. Or you can go for this little lamp spot here. I'm usually not too successful at it. The tough thing is trying to balancing between hitting it too soft and getting wet, or you hit it too hard and you end up here, which I don't know if you've noticed, doesn't look like the greatest spot to be stuck in. So get your driver out, hit roll. That actually came out a lot cleaner than I thought it would. Very surprised there. Of course, couldn't just hit the tree branches and get in the green. Nope, I had to hit the flippin' actual branches. So again, you know what? Especially when it comes to Classic Course of the Week, this may not be the worst idea to just play it safe. Go around and take your birdie, or even a par, because just like I did there, bogey is not fun, and I probably would have been better off if I actually went short in the water. All right, hole 10, this straightforward par 4. Don't think too much of it. Just pound a driver through, get on the fairway, and then, you know, you are going to occasionally end up with this corner tucked pin and the right 5 green slope. So just be thoughtful, be mindful of that when you are getting ready to hit that approach shot to the green. Hole 11, this is a pretty fun hole. Drivable par 4, a lot of water, short of the green, far of the green. For this, we're just going to take a 10.5. Now again, this may differ depending on how far away it is when you play or the wind. I'm just happy to get on the green. If I miss my putt left and take a birdie, I'm okay with that. But thankfully, not the case here as we roll on to hole 12. Hole 12, another massive, massive hole, 589 yards. So many different ways you can go on this. You can go do a nice big spinny kind of B1.5, B2 to get out as far as you can there. For some reason, there's this little layup spot. I don't know how close it is to actually getting there. And then you could also go down this far right side, which frankly I don't think I've really ever done. But with today's setup that I'm in, what the hell, let's try something new. The biggest thing is you want to get clear of the trees so you don't have to worry about cutting against the wind. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but yeah, so this is the tough spot here because you've got to get over the trees but also past the sand, which is why I'm going a 3-wood here. All right, not exactly where we wanted to be, but better than I thought it would have been. Thankfully, a little hop chip in there for eagle, and we are moving on to hole 13. Hole 13, another par 4. A little bit of a dip in the elevation when you get down there, but it's not really going to do much to your approach shot. The one thing that you will want to pay attention to is that hill back there and also the up 7-degree slope. That is why, especially for the super spin users of the group, myself included, no spin. I'm just using that wind to my advantage because it's blowing back at me and everything should be okay there. Get to hole 14. Not a tough par 3, but it is a right 8 sloped green. So that's why I'm going to high tee my 3 hybrid. Let that 11-mile-an-hour wind blow the ball to the left. And then, well, I was hoping to just take a putt in for birdie. I got caught in the rough. But not usually, fingers crossed, can't be wrong, it's not usually too difficult of a spot to get in. And then you get to hole 15 and the rain has started. Oh, how I miss the rain. The one big problem I always had with this hole is I always go to hit a C3 or a C2 and you end up in the damn snow. That is also going to be the concern here. That is why I'm just going to go ahead and high tee a 10.5-degree driver. And I'm going to hit a little bit of a C2. I want to just get it out there. And then hopefully that wind, in our case, is blowing towards the pin here against that right 8 green slope, and we're putting in for birdie. And then we get to hole 16, which may still be one of the hardest holes to eagle in Golden Tee. Honestly, you can try to line it up on the little areas of the fairway. You're still going to have to hit a big C3 to try to hop over the sand towards the green. So I'm just going to hit a driver here into the snow. My reasoning is I'm going to take a birdie or worse no matter what. So I'm not even going to try with that 15-mile-an-hour wind in my face. I'm not even going to try to screw around. And I'm just going to go at it. I'm going to play smart Golden Tee and just take the putt in for birdie. All right, then you get to hole 17. This one, I don't miss this hole. This is going to be tough. Down 12 green slope, 14-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. If this wind was blowing in towards us, perfect. In this case, it's doing the opposite. I don't really have, hopefully the setup you get is much nicer than this one. Even with the shot I hit there cutting an 8-wood, I'm still going to have a hell of a putt here. Oh, come on. That's a tough one. And the tough gets tougher because hole 18 is this weird little blob of a green, not a lot of room to work with. Of course, you'll see this pin up in the early left part of the green. I'm going to go wet. Honestly, that's all right. This is part of those, you want to lay up, but it's so tough to lay up because you're not used to laying up on a hole 18. All right, 19 under. Honestly, not the worst thing in the world when it comes to this course. Very tough, but if you want some challenging Golden Tee, find a Golden Tee Live or Golden Tee PGA Tour game that is updated to 2022 near you, goldentee.com/locations. We will see you more in the Golden Tee Lounge with our Freaky Friday preview for Friday. If I don't talk to you or see you guys before then, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you guys again real soon.